Hello, welcome back to the channel, and this is a channel where we give you reviews, playthroughs, unboxings. I generally like to talk a load of bollocks at tabletop gaming in general, and in this video we're going to be talking about a negotiation game. We're going to be talking about Sidereal Confluence, and in this game you will be running your converters to convert resources into more resources. You'll be trading these resources with other players in the hope that you can score victory points will allow you to win the game. So in this video we're going to be giving you a very brief overview of the rules. We'll tell you what we do like, what we don't like. And we'll come back and we'll tell you whether or not Sidereal Confluence is worth your time or bother today and in the future. Just remember, we are talking about the first edition of this. We're not talking about the remastered version of this. So if your components look a little bit different and you think your version's better than ours, then come round my house, we'll have a tear up and I'll show you that it really doesn't matter at all. So remember, if you're new in, then please consider subscribing to this channel. Hit the like button and all that YouTube bullshit. See ya after this. Bollocks! So, Sidereal Confluence. How'd you play this game? So, Sidereal Confluence is a negotiation game set in space. Each player is going to take control of one alien faction, and each alien faction is going to have some asymmetrical abilities that will allow them to manipulate the core mechanics that each player shares, right? You're going to get a player sheet that's going to tell you what your special abilities are. You're going to get a player screen where you're going to be hiding your victory points, so none of those sneaky bastards know how well you are doing. You're going to get some ship tokens that will be used to bid on auctions for new colonies and new research projects, and you're going to get a bunch of starting converters that you'll put down in front of you. So when teaching this game, you can't just dive in at the start line and swim. You've got to explain it arse about tit, right? So we're going to tell you how the three phases of this game works: the trade phase, the economy phase, and the confluence phase. But we're going to start with the economy phase, because if I tell you what the trade phase entails, you ain't going to understand what I'm talking about, because the concepts in the trade phase are explained in the economy phase, right? So like we detailed in a setup, you're going to have a bunch of converters that you're going to have put in front of you. There's two concepts to the converters, right? You've got the purple converters that are operated in the trade phase only, and then you've got the white converters that are operated in the economy phase. The main concept of a converter is you're going to be putting resources in to get different types of resources out. So if you look at this converter, you're going to be putting these resources into the converter to get this out. Converters can also be upgraded. The requirements of the converters are in the grey box. You might have to give up some type of resource, whether it's cubes or maybe a colony that you have settled, in which case you'll stick that card on the bottom of the colony deck, or you might have to give up another converter. You'll spend that converter to upgrade another converter, and you'll put the converter that you spent under the converter you upgraded, right? So now you've got that load of bollocks out of the way, you will check to see how many colonies you have. Every player has got a limit, apart from one of the races, which can have an unlimited amount of colonies. And then you will run your converters. You will take all the resources that you placed in your converters in the trade phase, and you'll spend them to acquire more resources. There is a value conversion chart on your player screen. You'll see that 3 cubes are equal to 2 big cubes, which are equal to 1 hexagon, which is equal to a victory point, which is equal to 3 ships, right? So bear this in mind while you're haggling or trying to tear the eyes out of your opponents. So now you know how the economy phase works. We'll go back to the start and we'll talk about the trade phase. The trade phase is a free-for-all lump of negotiation where everybody will be trying to get rid of the resources they don't want and acquire the resources they do want. You can make deals in this. They have to be fulfilled. So if you say that you will give somebody a blowjob in 2 turns time, then you have to make good on your promise, regardless of how much smeg is around their helmet. So in addition to this, you'll be able to run your purple converters, right? These are more often than not the research teams that you will be running, right? Research teams give you access to the sharing bonus in the confluence phase. The sharing bonus gets reduced as each round progresses. There's 6 rounds in this game, so if you can get the research teams out early, then you're going to get more of a sharing bonus, right? And like we said, you can also upgrade a card in the trade phase. We've already gone through that, so we're not going to go through it again. Once you've traded all of your shit away and then realised actually you did need that fucking green cube instead of that blue cube, and you have run your converters or not run your converters because you fucked up on the blue cube, then you'll go into the confluence phase. This is where you will be bidding on firstly new technologies and then new research teams. You'll declare how many ships you got. You'll split your ships into 2 hands, so you'll have some ships in this hand and you'll have some ships in this hand. You don't have to bid anything if you don't want. Everyone will stick their hands in the centre of the table and everyone will reveal. The winner of the bid will get to spend those ships firstly on a colony. There is a minimum bid, so if you bid more than the minimum bid, then you're going to have to spend 4 ships if you want to get a level 2 colony. That's just tough shit on your part. And then you'll do the same for the research teams, and you'll stick these in front of you, and whoopity-doo, this will increase the efficiency of your engine, might give you access to the sharing bonus, or if you've got shitloads of resources towards the end of the game, then you'll be able to trade these in to run the more expensive but more lucrative research teams that are languishing in the nether regions of the research team deck. So keep doing this. You'll do this for 6 rounds. You'll be trading your dirty underpants to your neighbours. You'll be running your converters and swearing a lot, and then you'll be bidding on colonies. You'll do this for 6 rounds, and then at the end of the round you do a bit of final scoring. You'll add up all the victory points that you got behind your screen, and then you will add up all of the resources you've got based on the conversion chart, and then you will half it, and then you'll add the two together, and then the player with the most victory points will be the winner of Sidereal Confluence. So what do we like about Sidereal Confluence? So the first thing that we like about this game is the asymmetrical alien abilities, and it's not a case of there just being asymmetrical abilities that we enjoy about this game. It's the way that the designer has crafted all of the asymmetrical abilities to interact with all the other alien abilities. Like for instance, there is one faction that allows you to steal from other players, right? And this can be directly mitigated by trading with the other player. There's another alien ability that I'm not going to try and pronounce that has these tokens that if you trade with them, you give them this token, and then when you complete a research team project, they get that token back and they get a victory point, right? So some of the alien abilities may seem a little bit underwhelming, but once you understand how they interact with all of the other alien abilities, then a light bulb comes on in your brain and the game starts to make a lot of sense, right? So the second thing we like about Sidereal Confluence is that the turns are simultaneous, and this not only means that analysis paralysis is eliminated from the game up to a certain degree, right? But it also means that the game scales well time-wise, whether you're playing with 4 or 9 players. There are a couple of problems with the economy phase, whereby if the resources are placed in a position on the table where everyone can't get access to them, you're going to have to wait until certain players are done that are nearer the resources so that they can give them to you, because you won't be able to reach them. But by and large, because all of the action occurs simultaneously, you don't have to worry about this game overrunning too much. We use a house rule where we slap a 10-minute timer onto the trade phase. If you don't do this, then you're asking for hiding, because the trade phase could go on forever. And adding a timer does add to the level of tension, because you're trying to get that last deal done with 10 seconds to go, and the opponent to the left of you tells you to fucking do one. So the third thing that we like about Sidereal Confluence is that the points scale really well. If you can get the research teams out at the beginning of the game, you're going to get that lucrative sharing bonus. It varies depending on the player count, but at higher player counts, you're going to have more points at the beginning of the game, and that's going to be reduced the further into the rounds you get. But to compensate for this, the new research teams are split into 4 different levels. The level 1 research teams, they're going to give you 1 or maybe 2 victory points, but the level 4 research teams that come out when the sharing bonus is reduced are going to give you like 16, 18 victory points, right? So you've got this conflict in your head. Do you want to try and get the points early by focusing on the research teams early, which is going to give everybody a new converter? Or are you going to wait, save up a load of resources, and then just spunk them up the wall on those victory points, but not have the luxury of having extra converters, right? So we love that. So what don't we like about Sidereal Confluence? So the first thing that we don't like about this is it is a fucking massive table hog. It's one of those games where you set it up and you think, right, I've put the stuff there, everybody's got enough room. And as the nature of this game is expansion, you're going to find yourself having to move your converters around. You're going to be encroaching on other people's personal space on the table, right? If you add to that the problem that we spoke about with placement of cubes on the table itself, if everyone doesn't have direct access to those resources, then it's going to slow the economy phase down, because you're going to have to ask people to give you those cubes. So it can be a bit of a mindfuck. It can be a bit of a headache trying to arrange this game at the start, and also whilst it's in play. Just make sure everybody has got enough space to expand, because there are no gastric bands in board gaming. So the second thing that we don't like about this, and this might seem a little bit stupid to you, but those fucking player sheets really get on my tits. They're fucking huge. What's the point? You could have condensed those alien abilities down onto a tiny little card, but whoever created this decided to put a massive bloody picture of the alien on there, then a load of waffle about the back history of the alien and how it relates to the theme of the game, and then you've got all this waffle about your ability itself, and a lot of it is just a waste of time. I was looking around the internet for a rule summary that condensed the alien abilities down into a manageable sheet, but nothing exists. You get this massive lump of cardboard that you can't put on the table because there's not enough space, right? So you're going to have this on the floor or in your hand. It's just absolutely ridiculous. I hate those player sheets, right? So the final thing we don't like about Sidereal Confluence is this game is kind of counterintuitive to teach. When you teach this game, there's going to be a lot of blank looks. There's going to be some terminology in this game that you can't actually relate to what is in front of you, yeah? I know there's going to be people out there saying, oh, easy to teach, I didn't have any trouble. Well, fucking whoopee do for you. But for us, it was a fucking nightmare. I put off playing this game for months because I wasn't confident that I could convert what I'd learned about the game to people effectively. But in the end, I just thought, fuck it, if it goes to rat shit, then it doesn't really matter. If you don't try and play these sort of games, then you will never know how much fun it is, and fuck me, I'm glad I did. So yeah, it's counterintuitive to learn. You've got to explain the phases in a bizarre order. Trying to explain the converters is easy, but because everybody's got a different type of converter or different type of ability, everybody's going to be looking at the thing in front of them. It's going to be different, and therefore it makes the game kind of difficult to teach, right? So to summarise, is Sidereal Confluence worth your time and bother today and in the future? So we're going to say yes, absolutely. This is one of the best, if not the best, negotiation game that we have ever played. The asymmetrical alien abilities have been crafted in a way that makes the game flow and maintains player interaction throughout the experience. It is an absolute bastard to teach, right? You're going to be tearing your hair out trying to learn this game from the shitty rulebook in the first edition. I don't know if the rulebook is better in the second edition. I'm assuming it is, otherwise I wouldn't have made a remastered version, right? And the humongous, unwieldy player sheets that you could use as a discus in the Olympics certainly don't help with getting to grips with all the different nuances of the game. But having said that, once everybody is familiar with their own and their opponent's special abilities, then this settles down into one of the best games we have played in a very long time, and it is a must-have game in my opinion. So there you go, that is Sidereal Confluence. Remember, if you're new here, then please consider subscribing to this channel, hit the like button and all that YouTube bullshit. See you next time.